What's up everyone, it's Caddy with MoneyVest. In today's video, I will be discussing one asset class that I have been buying over the last 6 to 12 months, and I'm actually planning on buying a lot more as time goes on. I've sent out alerts in our Discord for this particular asset because I do believe it has a ton of potential long-term, especially when there is a new cycle getting started for this particular investment. So hope you all enjoy this video and find it helpful. Please make sure that you drop a like if you enjoy it, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. There's 3 more spots left with a 16% annual discount available until the end of this month, and you will be able to access all the members only private videos. There's almost 50 tutorials and videos that you can watch, including the most recent one, which is the 30 stock shopping list that I've presented to all the members, including my buy targets for each stock here. So this is a long-term investing sort of idea list, and you can take a look and of course do more due diligence and research on this as well. So link's going to be down below. We'd love to have you on board. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out and I'm more than happy to help. So what I've been buying a lot of recently, and I'm planning to buy and pick up even more of, is going to be none other than gold. And gold is, in my opinion, just getting started. It actually hit a new all-time high of well over $2,300 an ounce. Actually got up to as much as $2,400 an ounce here, breaking out of its long-term consolidation since 2020. So this is like a 4-year consolidation in between 1,600 and 2,000, and then it finally broke out to new all-time highs, getting up to as much as $2,400 an ounce here. So basically mentioned, this was back in December 4th, 2023, and this is what I essentially said. We'll continue to pick up more physical gold here. It hit a new all-time high of $2,100 an ounce, and Catalyst, I just jokingly said 1.5 million weddings in India in the next 1 month. It's a madhouse here in Delhi. Demand for gold is through the roof. That again was jokingly. I actually did a video on this in December as well, and this right here were some of the alerts that went out in February and in April of this year in 2024. So picking up another 11 grams, picking up another 10 grams of 24 karat gold, and also picking up some silver, 6 grams as well. And I do believe that look, there's pros and cons of buying gold, right? And as we already know, that Warren Buffett has never really been a huge fan of gold. Up until recently, he did an investment in a gold company, mining company. But for the most part, he's not been interested in gold because of its lack of income producing, aspect of that investment, right? So basically what he said was that if you buy gold, right, if you buy all the gold in the world, so let me just bring that up here very quickly. So let me just see where did he say? So this right here, in a 2011 shareholder letter, Buffett pointed out that for the price of acquiring all the world's gold, an investor could buy all of the cropland in the US with enough money left over to buy ExxonMobil 16 times over, come back a century later, and one of those options will have delivered a bounty of crops and ample dividends, and the other would still be a large quantity of gold. And over the past 15 years, an ETF tracking the spot price of gold has returned an annualized 5.5% compared to the 15% return on the S&P 500. As for inflation, gold's record is a mixed bag. Despite steady inflation since 1988, gold has submitted a negative return in 18 calendar years, including 2021 and 2022, years with particularly high inflation. So one of the things that I want to address is it's not this or that. Okay? I want to be very clear. It's not gold or stocks. It's not gold or bonds. It's not gold or cryptos. For me, adding gold to my portfolio is gold and stocks, gold and bonds, gold and crypto. So it's a way for me to diversify my portfolio because yes, it does lack that income producing aspect, because as Warren Buffett has already mentioned that, gold doesn't really produce anything. There's no income produced by gold. And that's true. But at the same time, it has been an excellent source of value store over the last 3,000 years. I mean, it has done incredibly well. It has increased in value. It has held up its position as one of the most rare and the most prominent metals in the world. almost so much so that it can't be destroyed at all. And this right here are some of the more basic stuff that I wanted to go over about the yellow metal here. So it's been used for store of wealth for more than 3,000 years because gold is very rare, and gold today is becoming even more difficult to find and mine. And gold is 6 times more rare than platinum, 18 times rarer than silver, and gold is also very nearly impossible to destroy. Unaffected by oxygen, hydrogen sulfide, gold cannot rust, tarnish, or decay, and nor will gold melt below 1063 degrees Celsius. Gold is only dissolved by cyanide. And after 30 centuries of gold mining, new gold deposits are becoming even harder to find. In South Africa, the world's largest gold producing nation, has seen its gold output more than half in the last decade. So it is, we're coming up to a point where gold is now starting to become more and more limited in terms of supply, right? There's not a lot of new gold deposits being found, not a lot of new gold being mined. And the idea is, again, the supply being limited. And at the same time, when you have a lot of uncertainty and concerns around whether the fiat currency is going to survive or whatever the case might be with inflation, of course, just regular paper money in general, I do find gold as a very good store of value. I'm not looking at gold as an income producing asset because I know it's never going to produce any dividends or income for whatever reason, of course, because it doesn't have that, appeal. But just from a store of value standpoint, from a wealth store standpoint, from a diversification standpoint, I believe gold has a lot of advantages, just from my POV, just from my perspective. Now, this right here is the chart for the purity of gold. So if you are, let's say, deciding on buying gold, I would personally be looking at 22 or 24 carats only, because that's the gold where you're getting at least over 90% in purity. So if you're buying, let's say, a biscuit or a coin or whatever it is that you're buying, actually gold wise, at least look for 22, 24 karat, ideally 24 carats, because all my alerts that have gone out, I've bought 24 karat gold because that's 99% gold, right? Everything else has a mixture of other elements such as copper or silver. So it's kind of mixed, with different carats, because if you go to 18 karat or 16 karat, you're only buying 75% or 66% gold or 58% gold, and you really don't want that, right? You want to buy something that's actually pure gold, and that is 99%. That's 24 karat or 22 karat, which is at least over 91%. So that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, and that is the price that we're getting. This is the 24 karat gold price, $2,300 per ounce. And again, you can convert that ounce to grams. You can convert that to different metrics as well. Now, gold price experts, gold prices are at an all-time high, and Bitcoin and stocks aren't the only assets that are hitting all-time highs. If you want to buy an ounce of gold, it would currently cost you more than $2,250 or now $2,300, hitting all-time highs of $2,400, and that puts it up to 38% from its last low point in 2022. And even though gold prices are at an all-time high, many market watchers are still taking shine to it. While the current economic scenario has been good for stocks, it has been even more bullish for gold. This is Tim Hayes, Chief Global Investment Strategist at Ned Davis. But even with a favorable outlook, gold should play a very different role in your portfolio than stocks or bonds, is what they also mentioned. And why gold is up and could continue to rise. Different investors cite different reasons for owning gold. For one, it has a reputation to maintain or increase in value over the periods of when inflation is higher. Though with that track record is a little bit spotty, as I already mentioned, there's a mixed bag of when gold prices are higher or lower, but it is also considered as a store of value. Should paper money become significantly devalued? After all, gold has been considered a currency for millennia. So that is really the primary reason why I'm actually a little bit more towards gold here, is because of its store of value nature and how it is at the end of the day, right? If you go back to the bare bones here and you remove all technology, you remove everything, gold is one of those assets that will continue to hold its value through the course of the lifetime here, right? So we're going back as far as 1970s when it was at $36 an ounce. Now it's at $2,300 an ounce. Again, not comparing it with the S&P or the bond market or real estate. Of course, some assets and some investment classes are going to perform better than others, but this is just a way for me to diversify a little bit and have that store of value, hitting a new all-time high. One more thing I want to mention is that if you compare gold to the S&P 500, you'll notice that it actually goes through these periods of outperformance. And what I mean by that is if you take a look at how gold performed during this decade from 1994 all the way to 2000. So that was about 6-7 years where gold really underperformed against the S&P 500. But then after the dot-com bubble bursting, after the great financial crisis and the housing bubble, gold had significant amount of outperformance during that 10-year period. So since 2000 all the way through 2011, gold actually performed really well. It actually outperformed the S&P and the NASDAQ. And then the next decade, so next 12, 13 years, you can see that it underperformed significantly. So what I'm really betting on is the idea that, let's say, the next 10 years, the next 10 to 12 years, there is going to be a significant influx in the demand, influx in the overall prices for gold, resulting in them to go higher and increase relative to the S&P 500. Again, not saying that this is going to outperform, but it's a good store of value for me. It's a good way for me to diversify a little bit outside of the fiat currency, outside of the stock and the bond market and real estate market, and just to have that diversification in place for something that is proven to store its value. Again, not income producing from the beginning. So, you have to understand what it is that you're buying. And for me, I think gold does offer a good diversification process and store of value for what I'm looking to achieve in my portfolio and with my financial objectives. So it's really going to come down to what it is that you are looking for, what your financial objectives are. But for me personally, I wouldn't be surprised if gold, does indeed touch, let's say, $4,000 or $5,000 an ounce in the future. Not saying that's a price target that I'm putting on for the next 2-3 years, but over the next 5 to 7 years, so as much as 10 years, there is a possibility that gold, of course, reaches that level of pricing, right? In terms of where interest rates are going to be, inflation, and all the macroeconomic factors that we have discussed. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I am bullish on gold over the long term. Very clear positioning here. We'll also be potentially looking at buying silver, but gold here will continue to pick up more and more gold biscuits and bars, and we'll continue to store them safely. So hope you all enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If you did, make sure that you drop a like, and also let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and what do you think about the yellow metal. And do also join our Discord and our Patreon. 3 more spots left with that 16% annual discount, and you can watch all the members only videos and of course private videos. 30 stocks to buy with my buy targets also included. So links going to be down below. We'd love to have you on board. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.